Hi, this is Chrissy with the City of Willis. Coming up next on the Lone Star Internet Radio is the Willis Hour, in which various city officials will discuss information relevant to you as residents of Willis and Montgomery County. Feel free to join the conversation by calling us at 936-856-4611. For more information, visit our website at www.ci.willis.tx.us. Please enjoy the show.
Good morning and welcome to the Willis Hour. I'm James Nowak, Chief of Police, the City of Willis. Today's March 6th, 2014. Remember the Alamo Day? Thankful for what those men did for us so many years ago. Today we have a special guest, Ms. Teresa Harrod with the Parent Support Center at Willis ISD. Good morning, Teresa.
Good morning, James.
It's good to have you this morning. Hope you're not distracted by the construction noise going on next door. They're taking out a window and putting in some type of machine. It'll be interesting to see how they get it in there. But this morning we're going to talk about the Parent Support Center. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to be associated with the Parent Support Center?
Yes, I am not from Willis. I'm from Houston, but I was serving on a board, and one of the counselors at Willis ISD was on the board with me, and she asked me if I would be interested in taking part in a project that they had going on at the school. They needed a parent liaison for the school district, and that's what I have become, and the homeless liaison for our school district.
Who knew, right?
Who knew? That's right.
Well, what is the Parent Support Center?
The Parent Support Center is a service organization that is located in Roark Elementary School, we are now Parmley Annex. We're right across the street from the Willis Post Office. We are there to assist and help families with just about anything that they need. And that meaning clothes, furniture. Originally we started, I'm gonna move right on down and let you know what we do. We originally started, had one room, and I was there to help people with resources. If they didn't understand what was going on in their schools with their children, I could ask questions. I could do some digging around to find out what was going on. A lot of our families don't read or write English, or they don't read or write anything. So they didn't know how to get doctor's appointments. They didn't know about Medicare, Medicaid, WIC, CHIPS. So that was primarily what my original job was to be, just that.
Okay. I didn't know that we had such a problem with literacy in the Willis area. How does that happen?
It's big. I don't know how it happens. People are falling between the cracks, or they just come to us that way. So we have quite a bit of adult homelessness in Willis. We understand a lot of them are being run out of Conroe, so they're moving that direction. And But homelessness does not always mean that you are without a home. You know, according to the McKinney-Vento Act, it is living in abnormal circumstances other than what you and I would consider a home situation. Living with another family, butting up with other families or friends, living in a car, living in a motel. That is considered an abnormal living situation.
Okay. So not all homeless people would be living in a tent.
Right.
Okay.
That's correct.
So I guess a lot of it's hidden then from view.
Mm-hmm. And it's very intimidating to be asked that. So in the last few years, it is in our children's registration packet, and it takes somebody with some compassion to help them understand that, because there are services available to our homeless children that they don't know about unless they write that down on a piece of paper. It's not anything to, and homeless sounds, I'll say displaced, families that are displaced more than anything.
Okay. Well, while we're on the subject of homelessness, how does that happen? How do people become homeless?
Economics, times are hard right now. We have a lot of women that men leave them. A lot of women are being moved with domestic violence situations. Of course, we have a lot of Hispanics that are, although they take care of one another much more than than a lot of our other families do. Because in our facility now, we take up half of the school. We have 9 rooms that are designated for our Parent Support Center. We have a clothing room for children. We have a clothing room for women and for men. We have a classroom. We have computers that are available to anyone that needs to use a computer. We have telephones. But homelessness is not the face of the bum on the corner that you would think of, or the ones that are hanging out behind Target. They are children. They are children whose families are doing the best they can, and they need to be fed. They need to be clothed. We need to bathe them. They have to be taken care of somewhere, and not that the parents don't want to.
Yeah, just need a helping hand.
They need a helping hand, and that's what we do.
Well, what's the history behind the center? How did it all get started?
Well, it started about 14 years ago. It was through the Philip Morris Tobacco and Drug-Free Schools. It was a volunteer organization, basically, but with most volunteers, as they want to move with their children, volunteers want to go to the next school with their kids. Like if they start in elementary, by the time they move to middle school, they want to go with them. It takes a lot of committed time, and I'm finding out that people that are living in, I guess, with the Ruby Payne mental model, in poverty, they don't live by day planners like you and I would. And so it had to be open a lot of hours. And a lot of the volunteers would be open sporadically, Monday, Wednesday, maybe Friday, from 1 to 2. It was not consistent. So to make the use of that money and all the equipment that was purchased, it needed to have a commitment that it would be open at all times, or a designated amount of time. So they hired me. I started working 17 and a half hours a week, and there were people hanging out on the front. I absolutely had no idea what I was going to do. Although my background is in nonprofits, I had just come from running an organization at Helms Elementary School in the Heights. It was a Christian outreach for street and jug kids. So my background is in that. So I worked for the YMCA for many, many years. But people were sitting outside. I didn't know what the need was in Willis, because I'm not from Willis. But immediately it was very prevalent that problems with families it was grandparents raising grandchildren, our Hispanic families, special education, and I can't even think of what the other one was right now. But those were the key elements that we started with. I said these are the groups that we're going to focus on at this time, and it's pretty much stayed the same way throughout the years that I've been here. This is my 13th year.
Okay. Well, let's pause for a moment, take a break, and we'll come back and talk some more with Teresa Harrod with the Parent Support Center in Willis.
You're listening to the Willis Hour on Lone Star Internet Radio.
Let's go to Lukenbach, Texas.
Tired of Waylon, Willie, and the boys? Join me, Gordon Lockhart, for Beethoven, Bach, and the Boys. Every Saturday from 8 to midnight on Lone Star Classical Music After Dark. Symphonies, concertos, and sonatas by composers such as Mozart, Tchaikovsky, and Bernstein. That's Lone Star Classical Music After Dark, every Saturday from 8 to midnight on irlonestar.com.
Hi, this is Erica Tullis, Executive Director of the Breast Cancer Charities of America. The Breast Cancer Charities of America is a national nonprofit organization with our headquarters in the Woodlands, Texas. We focus on non-invasive breast cancer research and helping the true patient that is going through breast cancer. Through our Help Now Fund, we help women pay the rent and utilities while going through their breast cancer treatment. It's unlike any other program that truly is out there. We are here to help the woman. Our phone number is 936 231 8460. For more information or to get involved or to even make a donation, please visit our website www.igopink.org.
You're listening to the Willis Hour on irlonestar.com.
Good morning. We're back with Teresa Harrod with the Parent Support Center in Willis. I'm James Nowak, Chief of Police for the City of Willis. And a moment ago, as we spoke, Teresa mentioned the Ruby Payne model. And I'd like you to elaborate on that if you could.
Ruby Payne is a renowned author who has studied homelessness. She's from Texas, I believe the Dallas area. And it's called Bridges Out of Poverty, and it's the AHA process. And through this, and I'm going to go back a little bit, because Willis has no service organizations. I started going to a lot of United Way meetings. I got on the board of the Homeless Coalition. I was with HOPE, which is Hispanic Outreach for Professional Enrichment, with Maria Banos, with Texas Latino Leadership Roundtable, just to gather information to bring back. And United Way needed someone in Willis, these years later, to have data to prove that Willis needed United Way funds. And because we have no organizations in Willis that do that, other than the Parent Support Center, United Way came to me and said, "You've been hanging out at all these meetings all these years. What do you want?" I said, "I don't want your money. I want information. Our families need information, and it has to be delivered through someone." So with that, we were asked to do a 15-week model. It's called the AHA process, moving out of poverty. And you take 15 families that are living in poverty and ask them to come be a part of a 15-week program to help them move out of poverty. We had to take 15 weeks as facilitators to take part of that, moving out of poverty, and it's pretty extensive. And then you take these families through that same process, because in it's called the AHA process. There is a mental model how people see poverty from the level of living in poverty, from middle income and upper income families, and it's quite different the way you look at it. But through this process, we hope that people will say, "Oh, I get it. I understand." And it takes a whole community to do this. It takes the banks. It takes, we've got these cash lenders who are, people living in poverty will go borrow money and then can't ever get it back because the interest rate's so high. It's everyone in the community seeing poverty from the eyes of someone living in poverty, not from somebody living in, wealth, and not somebody living in middle class, but how it is really living in poverty. It's quite an eye-opening situation. We had a lot of facilitators, but we had 15 people that were dedicated to go through this process. We had 5 families that actually moved out of poverty. 2 started their own business. 1 started her own jewelry business. But it's just holding their hand and pointing them in the right direction. That's basically what it is. And the Ruby Payne process is a long ordeal. I mean, there are books written by Ruby Payne it's very deep, very deeper than I am.
Are there families in Willis going through this process now?
Not right now. We did it. We hope to do it again. Okay. United Way has mentioned us doing that process again.
Okay. So what's the main purpose of the Parent Support Center?
The main process has changed a great deal as we've been there. Everyone needs someone to care, and not many people care anymore. I have almost been homeless. I have had my home foreclosed on. I've been without. I have had a husband that's walked out. I at one point was afraid I was going to be standing on the corner with my antique furniture in a grocery cart. People don't know where to turn. And luckily, I'm educated and I have a background of being very strong and very independent. So I wasn't bashful about asking for help. Mm-hmm. Very many people who have lived the life for a long time don't know how to ask. So just for some people, just to make a doctor's appointment is very difficult. To stand up for yourself is very, very difficult. So we give away clothes, but we do it like a store. It's very lovely. Everything is sized. It's clean. Nothing is put out that I wouldn't wear. That's debatable some days. But anyway, it gets very personal when you start sharing underwear sizes. Mm-hmm. So the point is that we want these families to open up and let us know how we can truly help them, really help them, not a shirt, not a pair of shoes, but what's really missing that we can help them with. And saying that, we know the parents. I get to know the children, and our counselors now call. And when you know the child's side of the story and you hear the adult side of the story and you try to mesh them, you really get a different version from both sides. So now I have parents who are homeless will come to me and say, I'm living in a metal shed down on the highway. My girls have just started school. I don't know what to do. So we walk them through the process. Many times I do it for them. We get on the phone together. What's holding you back? You can do this. You can get a job. You can get out there and move. Nobody should have to be without a ride. Nobody should have to be without food. We give away food. I'll take them to the doctor and walk them through the process if they're really that scared. You know, people are intimidated, and we need lessons in customer service and love, and that's what we're there to serve. We want people to feel welcome. We want to surround them and say, we're here to help you. We may not know how, but I'll find a way.
So it seems like the purpose is to use things to establish a relationship, to find out what the real problem is, so that you can solve it and get them squared away.
Yes, and in the beginning, that's pretty much what it was. But now they come to me, will you help me with my mail? I don't know how to fill out this job application. I don't know how to fill out Medicaid papers. I can't read my bill. Can you explain to me? Who do I talk to make an appointment for my child who can't walk? Anything. Pregnancy. We have teen pregnancies. We have mothers that are in domestic violence situations. They don't know where to go. We have men who are homeless and have young teen daughters. Nobody takes them in. Just this week, I had a gentleman in yesterday, and he finally found a house. And I'm not a realtor, but people come and say, do you know where we can find inexpensive rental property? Mm-hmm. Just mundane things that you don't think about unless you're in that situation. Mm-hmm. So, you know, they don't know where to turn. If you're new in Willis, if you're new in Montgomery County, you don't know where to turn.
You know, it's hard for me to grasp, and, you know, in policing we deal with a lot of people, and but I'm sure a lot of the listeners are listening and trying to remember, my mama taught me that, my daddy taught me that. Why didn't these people learn this?
The cycles continue.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, and I'm just going to say it, I'm going to be real blunt, we have a group of parents right now, and not everybody, but the ones I see, majority, have been raised the way they're raising their children. You know,
and our perspective is based on how we were raised.
That's right. And drugs are causing serious problems with our parents. That comes first. Our kids are hungry. Our kids spend weekends with their parents on the back parking lot selling drugs.
And so you would not be in favor of the legalization of marijuana?
No.
I didn't think so. Because we see the effects.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
People can say all they want to that it
Yeah.
is not, it doesn't cause you to have a habit. Oh, yeah, it does. Oh, yeah, it does. And we have moms that come in that are pregnant and they're on drugs. Do you want to see what drugs will do to your baby? I work in a school with nothing but the other side of the building is special education. You want to see what drugs can do to your child? It's sad. It's sad. But moms are selfish. Our fathers are selfish. And we've got that generation of me parents right now. Sorry, please, I'm probably offending a whole lot of people.
Some things need to be said.
But, you know, many don't look beyond themselves. And therefore, I know 13 years I had a young mom that came in. She only had 2 little girls at the time. She had another one, and now she has 3 who are reaching maturity. One of them's pregnant, she's 14. And years back I said, this mom, this is just gonna multiply. It's gonna grow. And sure enough, I said, it's scary when you think that mom is gonna have 3 that are gonna have 3 or more. And it's just going to multiply. And they're all being parented by this mother that doesn't know how to parent. And we do parenting classes also, by the way.
I was fixing to ask you, did you do that?
Yes, we do parenting classes. As a matter of fact, right now I'm working with CPS. We do a lot of CPS classes for parenting classes for parents that are dealing with CPS issues.
Okay. So it's really important for parents out there now to do it right so we don't have a continuing problem. Yes. Your parents are very important. Let's take a break, and we'll come back and visit more with Teresa Harrod with the Parent Support Center in Willis.
You're listening to the Willis Hour on irlonestar.com.
Hi, I'm Tina, and I will be your host for a new program on Lone Star Internet Radio. I call it Retro Saturdays. Every Saturday at 5 p.m., I will be playing music from the 1930s to the 1970s. I will play a different genre of music every weekend of the month. You will hear big band music, jazz, 70s classic rock, and 60s oldies. Join us for Retro Saturdays at 5 p.m. every Saturday of the month. Go to irlonestar.com for more information on Retro Saturdays on Lone Star Internet Radio.
SPCA PetSnap of Montgomery County is a 501c3, all-volunteer-based rescue and adoption organization with a no-kill policy for healthy and adoptable animals. Our name states what we believe: Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. People eliminate the suffering. Spay, neuter, adopt, please. We rescue abandoned, abused, or homeless animals, do whatever is needed to make them healthy and happy, and then we find them loving forever homes. We envision a county where every companion animal finds a permanent and compassionate home, where communities are enriched by the special bond between people and animals, where cruelty no longer exists, and where every home practices responsible pet ownership. You can contact us at www.spcaofmc.com. The SPCA PetSnap of Montgomery County encourages you to think adoption first.
You're listening to the Willis Hour on irlonestar.com.
Good morning. We're back with Teresa Harrod with the Parent Support Center here on this edition of the Willis Hour. I think it was George Thompson in his book Verbal Judo talked about empathy being the most powerful word in the English language, and it seems that's very important with what you do.
Yes.
And for us as we interact with people to be empathetic and understand their situation, or try to understand their situation. What are some of the services and things that y'all do, classes and different things y'all do at the center?
We have ESL classes, every Wednesday morning from 10 to 11:30. We have a group in the afternoon called Madres Hispanas, which is for our Hispanic mothers. We have sewing machines and paint, and we do nutrition classes for them. We do parenting classes with them. That afternoon is just for them, what they want, what they need. Texas AgriLife is real good about sending speakers out. Churches will come out. It's easy. We have a real generous community. Montgomery County is a very generous community, and we have a lot of service organizations, and people will come out and help. Literacy Guild is doing our ESL classes, and the Literacy Guild is also doing GED classes. We started GED classes this year, and those are also on Wednesday night, and they're from 5:30 to 7. Everything is free. Everything is nothing cost at the Parent Support Center. We have, let me think, our parenting classes. We have done a group, Grandparents Raising Grandchildren. That's not active right now because the kids grew up, and now our grandparents are so busy going to ball games and things with their grandkids. Our kin care, that we have trouble keeping that going. We had a group. It was recovering addicts and people that have just gotten out of the penitentiary. We had that for about 3 years. That was at night because, for necessary reasons, safety reasons, they can't be in the building during the day, that group. So, but that, there again, it ebbs and flows with different things. So, but in the summer, we will have a free breakfast every morning, Monday through Thursday, 9 o'clock, and those are provided by our local churches, and not so local. We have churches from the Woodlands that come and serve breakfast. We do Vacation Bible School during the summer, and activities for the kids to keep them off the street. A lot of our families don't have air conditioning, and it's very hot. A lot of our families don't have water, so it gives them a place to be. And they spend probably from 8:30 to 12 at the school during the summer.
And I know the food bank has a backpack program. Do y'all participate in that?
We don't, but our school does. Okay. That's done through the school. And before it started, we had done that with some of our families. But thank goodness for the Texas Food Bank. The Montgomery County Food Bank is helping a lot of our families with that backpack program. Okay.
For the listeners who don't know, that's the backpack allows the children to take food home for the weekend, so they're not hungry during the time they're away from school. I've donated several backpacks to the food program.
Easy food that can be opened, doesn't have to be cooked, can be eaten out of a can right there without, Pop-Tarts and things like that. Yeah,
makes it easy for them.
Yes.
You mentioned sewing machines. Do you teach the ladies how to make clothes?
We have done. I don't. I can't sit still long enough to sew anything. But we do. We have 5 sewing machines, and they have done all kinds of quilts and things like that. They really do. We're really good with that.
Are there any job skills programs?
We have done professional development. Unfortunately, the people that come to us are not looking for high-powered jobs, so professional development has developed and evolved into something else at the Parent Support Center. It's more about how to fill out a job application, and I don't mean add a resume. We're talking about pretty much fast food, clean your fingernails, make sure you brush your teeth. Matter of fact, I had a young man in today who is looking for clothes to go for a job interview, and he just doesn't know what to wear. Comb your hair, basic things, and we have a wonderful curriculum for parenting classes. But once again, that had to evolve into something else, just simply because our parents didn't grasp the classes. How can you teach about bullying when your child's being bullied at home by their parents? So you have to take it back a notch. It's got to be done in a language that they understand.
Sounds very challenging. Who works at the Parent Support Center?
Oh, we have a huge staff. There's 2 of us.
Yeah.
There's myself.
So you're 50% short right now by being here.
That's right.
Okay.
And that's why I'm always running behind.
Yeah.
Lucy Aguilar is our bilingual liaison, and she also does translating for the school district, and she's a wonderful help and works with the clothes closet and all that. But we have about 25 volunteers. Without our volunteers, we couldn't do anything. And they hang clothes and sort clothes, and when I say clothes, I'm talking about tons and tons of clothes. Our families are very generous. The Homeless Service Center brings clothes our way because we have more of. We're finding out as we work together with different organizations, there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. If we've got space and people that can hang clothes and we've got space to hang them, why have them somewhere else? So they bring their clients to us to shop, and that way they can focus on the other avenues that, of homelessness. I work with Jack Hay with Healing Hand Ranch. I can't even tell. There's so many we work with. The Literacy Guild, the Assistance League of Montgomery County, they donate clothes to us. We all work together. We all work together. And
if everybody stays with their core competency, then
that's
we're
right.
not duplicating
That's
everything.
right. That's right. And nothing we do. Everything that we do is free. There are no questions asked. I don't want our families to have to divulge a lot of the information. I know people have asked, why don't you, become part of the United Way? Why don't you get funding? Number one, we just don't have the manpower to get all that done. But another thing, a lot of our families, we want to respect their privacy. We don't want them to have to divulge everything in their life to get a can of green beans. I believe that is ridiculous. No one should be without food. No one should be without clothes because they don't have an address. And families don't have addresses. So we just say, come. We are here to serve you. We want to love you. We don't want you to be intimidated by. It's also a good experience. Many of our families have had very poor education backgrounds. They're intimidated by the school system, by the receptionist. If they can't write their name, they're embarrassed if they're trying to sign out their kids. So we want them to give them a positive experience coming into the school so that they become more comfortable and it's not a foreign place to be. So they can ask questions. They can come to me and say, I don't know how to ask this question to my principal. I don't know how, the receptionist is not very nice to me. Let's turn it around and what can you do to make that a better experience? So that's what we're about.
Yeah. Treat people with dignity, much dignity as they will allow. Yeah.
Yes, respect. And they trust us. They trust us.
Do you need volunteers?
Always.
How does one qualify to be a volunteer?
Show up, breathe, walk.
Pass the mirror test. Okay.
Yes. Smile, and they have, and we do have places there that we really would like for everyone to be able to talk to the people that come in. Many are not comfortable, so they can go in the back rooms. They can hang clothes. They don't have to see another human soul. They don't want to. Right now, we probably have 2 rooms of clothes stacked to the ceiling. A lot of the churches have garage sales, and we pick up from their garage sales what's not sold. There again, it gives them a place that they feel safe. They can help their community, and in return, they have a place that they can shop at no cost. So
somebody that cares and loves their fellow man and has
and
some
I
time.
feed them every day. I cook every
wow.
day to feed our volunteers.
Well, that's awesome.
Not so much sometimes, because it comes out of my pocket.
Yeah. Well,
but God told me to do that. God told me to do
better
that.
than none.
God said, "Feed them," and I will.
Okay. Well, let's take another break, and we'll come back and finish up with Teresa Herod from the Parent Support Center in Willis.
You're listening to the Willis Hour on irlonestar.com.
Howdy, howdy, folks. Cable Smith, host of the Lone Star Outdoor Show, inviting you to join me Saturday mornings from 7 to 8 on Lone Star Internet Radio for Texas' premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor talk show. So pour yourself another cup of coffee and pull up that stool a little closer to the old campfire, because if you can catch it or kill it in Texas, we're going to talk about it. That's right. Bucks and ducks, gobblers, monster bass, redfish, trout, and a whole lot more. Plus, you never know what outdoor celebrity is going to drop by, from Phil the Duck Commander Robertson to fishing legend Bill Dance or everybody's favorite uncle Ted Nugent. Heck, we might even mix in an interview and hear some brand spanking new Texas music from one of your favorite Texas musicians like Robert Earl Keen, Brandon Ryder, or the honky-tonk kid himself, Aaron Watson. Loved or hated but never ignored, it's the Lone Star Outdoors Show with me, Cable Smith, Saturday mornings from 7 to 8 right here on Lone Star Internet Radio on irlonestar.com.
Tri-County Services provides services to children and adults with mental illnesses, substance abuse disorders, and intellectual developmental disabilities in Montgomery, Liberty, and Walker counties. Offices are located in Conroe, Cleveland, Liberty, and Huntsville. Some mental health services offer focus on resilience and recovery. Services and supports for individuals with intellectual development disabilities focus on skill development and independence. Tri-County Services offers 24/7 crisis intervention and evaluation with crisis hotline 1-800-659-6994. And their mobile crisis outreach team. Psychiatric crisis treatment is available at Psychiatric Emergency Treatment Center in Conroe. Substance abuse services include treatment for both youth and adults. Substance abuse prevention classes are also provided for younger children and teenagers. Peer support services for veterans are also offered by Tri-County Services. For more information about all programs provided by Tri-County Services, call 936-521-6100 or visit our website at www.tricountyservices.org.
You're listening to the Willis Hour on Lone Star Internet Radio.
Good morning, and we're back with Teresa Hare of the Parent Support Center at Willis ISD. Teresa, can you tell me how many people come through the Parent Support Center in a given time?
About 200 a day. We're open.
200 a day.
200 a day. We're open from 9:30 to 2:30, and we had 20,000 through last year.
Different people?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes.
What's your service area?
Well, Mr. Harkrat, I'm sorry. We originally it was predominantly for parents of children, that lived in Willis, had children in the Willis ISD. But we found out that so many of our families are so transient. They're moving where rent is affordable.
Right.
So they'll, pull their kids out, they'll move to another school district, and then they'll come back. Very transient. So if we can hang on to those parents and keep them with us, we know where their children are. We don't lose sight of those kids, because usually they're the ones that life may not be so easy for. So when they come back, we haven't lost touch with them. And you find out where they've been, how they've been. You know that they're being clothed, they're being fed, and that helps when they come back to us. So I'm just going to say that we don't have a real scope range. Okay. But then again, our donors are not just in our school either. Right. They're from everywhere.
Okay. So even if the kid is moving from school to school through contact with y'all, there's still some stability in their lives.
We hope so. Yeah. We hope so. At least we can keep our eyes on them. Our eyes. We can know what's going on with them. And parents are very open with us.
Well, who comes to the support center? What
population? Yeah. There really is no one thing that I can say about that. It's just a little bit of everybody. We have senior citizens that come, people on fixed incomes. We have very nice clothes. We can get furniture for people. We have young, we have old, teenagers, teenagers living on their own, young married people. There really is no very educated. We have, during the hurricane, we were able to help a lot of families that were here that had homes that they had rental property here, and they'd come from Louisiana or New Orleans, and they found out that they didn't have homes to go back to, so we were able, we helped them. And emergency situations, we're one of the few volunteer organizations right there in Willis, so people automatically come to where they can help or get help.
So it could be like anybody else in the Willis School District. Somebody can't just say, well, that wouldn't be me, because tomorrow it could be.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say most of our families, I know I am, we're one paycheck away from being out the door. And
one car wreck, one heart attack.
That's right. That's right. And that health issues, and that was a good one that you mentioned that. It's good that you mentioned that, because that we do see people who have gone through periods in their life where they've had medical issues, and now they're doing better, and they do come back to us, and they return the donations, new ones. They bring back.
They give back.
They give back. Yes. Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Where do the donations come from? You mentioned food and the clothes and things. You mentioned some of the organizations.
Our churches, a lot of our churches do. We need. And that being said, it's not just adults. All of our school nurses can call us and say, we need shoes, we need coats when it's going to get cold. We have kids that come to school with their shoes duct taped on their feet, and the teachers will say, the duct tape's coming loose. Do you have shoes? A lot of the schools, A.R. Turner did a fun run, and everybody that was in the fun run had to bring a new pair of shoes. We have a little girl at Brenna. She saw a homeless man downtown Houston many years ago, and she started a drive for blankets. They bring us blankets. My church, The Light, has a panty and sock drive every year, and we get all brand new panties. And we went through 375 blankets before this cold snap 2 weeks ago, and they're gone. Because people have no furniture, so they're laying on the floor. They're using them for their windows. But Crossroads Baptist Church helps us. We have the Woodlands Methodist Church, the Community Presbyterian Church in the Woodlands. They do drives for us. The Methodist Church in Willis brings us shoes. People bring tons and personal hygiene products, shampoo, soap, deodorant, toothbrushes are valuable commodities to our families. They come in, do you have shampoo? Do you have a toothbrush? And, things that we don't think anything about having are very, very valuable. Diapers, we need diapers. Pregnancy assistants will call us and say, we've got a load of diapers. Project Cure in the Woodlands, we have a couple, Ingrid and Bill Fowler, who bring us baby formula. They can bring us medical supplies, aspirins and Pediasure and things like that for our babies. We have adult diapers. We need chucks to put on the beds. We have a lot of elderly families, people with elderly people in the family, and they can't get adult diapers for them. We keep those. We do a project at prom. Our life skills students had never gone to the prom up until the last 6 years, and we start looking for prom dresses for them. And they do fundraisers to get their flowers, but we bring them to the Parent Support Center on the day of prom, and we have hairstylists there that fix their hair. We have women that come and do their makeup and the nails. We have food and music, and the boys are at the other end of the building, and they're not supposed to see the girls till they're dressed, and we all get on the school bus and go to prom. And then they come back and get their stuff. It's more hairspray and Cokes and sandwiches, and that's so much fun. And they turn into different people when they get to that prom, and they're dressed up. You never know. And that's one of our fun things. That's one of our fun projects every year. So just making them as normal as they can possibly be.
Well, you've helped shed a light on something that's pretty much invisible probably to most of the Willis residents. I thank you for coming in. Sounds like a very worthy cause, and I think it was in Matthew 25 where Jesus said, if you do it for the least of these, you've done it for me.
Absolutely.
So it sounds like a very good program to support if anybody's needing a program to support.
Yes.
Or you need some things, you got some things you want to give away, or you have some time on your hands, listeners talking to you. Show up at the Parent Support Center and talk to Teresa.
And it's fun, and we love it. We absolutely I love my job. I love my job.
Do you do any education outreach, speeches and things like that to different groups? And,
yes,
okay.
yes,
So
I do.
if somebody wanted to have you come speak to their group, they could contact you there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And what's the phone number to the Parent Support Center?
936-856-5691.
Okay.
And if we don't answer the first time, it's because I'm in the hall looking for shoes and clothes for somebody.
Okay. Well, Teresa, thank you for coming in today on this edition of the Willis Hour. This is James Nowak, Chief of Police, City of Willis, signing off, saying have a great day and remember the Alamo.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, this is Tina, your host from Retro Saturdays. I wanted to invite you to visit the Lone Star Studios here in downtown Conroe, Texas. We're all volunteers here, and we need your help in serving the Montgomery County area. Radio media is a fun field to be in. Lone Star Internet Radio serves Montgomery County with news, current events, local programming, and of course, music. If you are interested in volunteering and sharing your talents in media, go to irlonestar.com and let us hear from you. Lone Star Internet Radio, serving Montgomery County from the heart of downtown Conroe.